Being 3-3 versus 2-2, still great. Still fantastic for the Protoss side of things. For Spirit, it's going to be an uphill battle until he gets a 3-3, unless he can force a really good fight with beautiful positioning. And I think that the other side of it too is that he's been doing a great job of harassing with those liberators and constantly dropping. So even if Strange wanted to hit that timing, it was never on the table for him. Disruptors, though, are going to come out. This is a massive Protoss force. Huge EMPs land on the Archons. They evaporate instantly, cutting against the Zealots as they slowly burn through. Mind you, he targeted the Disruptors, so those were also taken out at the front. Another one is coming in on the backside, though, with a Prism for potentially a little juggle action. And this might be too overwhelming for him. Those upgrades pay off huge here. The Marines die basically instantly when the Colossus are able to get up to them, and now it turns into the defensive game. That Prism is still close by, so if he wants to reinforce and make a big attack, that's on the table.
Yeah, and Spirit is really looking to be in a lot of trouble right now. There's something very important. Oh, nice hot pickup on that tank. He needs that tank to try and hold. There was something really nice that happened for Spirit that kept that from being a complete rout. The one tank in the top side tanked a lot of damage from the Colossus. We are going to see those Spirit. He is really on the ropes right now. Strange is trying to push in. There's a lot of Marauders in this force, so it's still an army that can be competitive. But the Viking count doesn't really, it's not in numbers enough to deal with these Colossus just yet. They're going to try and go after that, but they're not really getting the target fire they're looking for. Meanwhile, so many SCVs are falling. The Zealots are going to be reinforced, so there's not even a chance to break through that front line and punch through this army. This is looking so good for Strange to potentially 2-0 this series.
Yeah, no, he's playing this fantastic. And I feel like another thing too, vehicle weapons level 2 is finishing right now. There is a single siege tank on the map, or he just finished his second one and started a third. But the tanks are not what's going to save him here. Those Vikings, if they had been able to kill the Colossus a little faster, maybe we get that ship weapons instead for the Vikings. But he's going to try and turn this around. Big counterattack onto the third. He's going to let the recall go through because that means the Colossus are on top of the Marauders and they die instantly. It's actually really smart of him to not focus down the Nexus and cancel the recall. It allows him to take out the biggest, most important units. And particularly, too, with all the medevacs here, he can lift up and go into the main base, which is exactly what he's going to do. The Stalkers, they could have tried to blink and chase, but now he has to just sit there and say, okay, well, if I move out across the map, I'm probably going to get dropped again. So what is the play in this position?
Man, it's feeling pretty tough for Spirit right now. He's down a lot of supply. He's down 25 army supply. He's going to try and hold with pretty much pure ghost tank, and that is just not going to happen. There are so many charge lots here. Spirit is desperately trying to get some counterattack damage in. He was hoping those medevacs would hold Strange at home, but they did not. Strange said, I've done a ton of economic damage to you. You commit a lot of resources to static defense as a general rule. That's just how you play. And Strange, he is going to knock out the natural expansion. I don't think he should push up this ramp, maybe. Ooh, this is a lot of EMPs coming on in, but Strange, actually, yeah, his units are really bumbling up here. Strange, no, why did we just force the ramp? There was no need to do that. He could have just killed the outside base.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's got that southeast base is completely exposed. There is nothing there but 16 SCVs on an orbital, and that is literally the economy right now for Spirit, because the main is mined out and everything else has been destroyed. So he's going to come over, maybe try to depower a pylon on the way out. I think, yeah, grab the Stalkers, as many as you can. Those are the expensive units that Strange is going to have a slightly harder time replacing. But Strange still has money coming in. He's still got a little bit in the bank. He's got a significant worker advantage. I think the only thing holding Spirit in it is that southeast base that Strange just got to do your due diligence, got to check up on that. And now another counter to the top left. This is where the Terran scrappiness starts to swing things back the other way.
Yeah, this, I cannot believe what just happened here. Strange, no need to force that ramp. He was obviously taking damage from the drop, but he could have warped in. He could have dealt with it. He obviously didn't have the recall, but as long as he doesn't lose all of his bases, he would have been in an okay spot. Or, you know, lose all of his workers. Like, it really feels like this just didn't need to happen out of Strange, and that really gave Spirit a lifeline in this game. And particularly the fact that he hasn't checked on that base. He sees it now with the Observer, but man, oh man, has Spirit ever been able to get a lot of value out of that base that he really shouldn't have been able to get.
Yeah, and that could be what he ends up regretting if he loses this game. That's I think we could put most of it on that, as he's aware of it now, so it will get cleared out. And this is still a huge deal for Spirit, because I think he needs another minute or so of mining that to get where he wants to be, as the bio is strong and it's great. But this is, when we talk about it, it's still 2-2 versus 3-3. So Strange's emphasis early on in this game on upgrades has just continuously paid out huge dividends in these fights, as he's been a little bit more durable. He's done a little bit more damage than his opponent can handle. And a nice blink there to dodge the mine as he goes up the ramp. He will eat the EMP, but the Colossus and the Archon's getting to fight all this bio in a very tight choke point. And now he lifts everything off. It's like you're playing a barcode Terran on the ladder. Ay, ay, ay.
Well, that was actually really impactful right there. The Colossus, Spirit put everything into killing that one Colossus, and he did get it. Now there is only the one Colossus left over in this army. That really cuts the power of this army down a lot, especially considering the sheer number of Marines. There are 22 Marines and 7 Marauders. There are 2 Ghosts to deal with the Archons. I actually think it was worthwhile to kill that Colossus. Even though he loses all of the bio, it was trapped in the base anyways. He was never going to get away with it. So I actually think that's a very nice play right there for Spirit. Now, both players are really in some trouble right here. Strange does have the money to rebuild his Nexus, and he's got a crap ton of probes that he saved. This game is actually resetting right now. They're both expanding again. We do have Strange. He is going to try and take advantage of the position. Ooh, this Widow Mine. Very nice little spot right there. We will see a move forward coming in from Strange, but yeah, you're not going to be able to break through this Helm's Deep defense. Not at the moment just yet.
No, they're not they haven't run out of oil-soaked flaming arrows yet. So the Banshees come over. The Observer is out of position, and this is definitely a tough spot to be in. He'll go to that southeast expansion. I think he knows, he sees that base is there. The Banshees are headed over. But I remind you, and if you're Strange, it is awkward because he doesn't actually have enough gas. He doesn't actually have enough gas to do anything, like build that Observer. But you can see the Banshees. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to go all in on this. I don't care if anybody gets mad at me. He didn't get any ship weapons. The tanks have been useless this game.
Yeah.
And now the Banshees don't even two-shot the probes, because the probes have +3 armor. So what could have been a super easy shutdown of this becomes slightly more painful and a little bit more difficult, because once he takes the geyser, he can build more observers. That's why he's trying to take this gas, because he still has his robo. He doesn't have enough gas to build an observer. And the probes are actually really hard to kill with the Banshee. So we can see that upgrade, that double forge at the beginning of this game, paying off over and over and over again. I think I have no idea what the hell's going to happen beyond this point.
No, it is so weird, but so many probes have been falling in the later stages of this game. The Liberator harass on the bottom right is finding a lot of damage. I can't believe more, like, wow, actually the workers killed in this game is just ridiculous right now. It is not good to be an ununionized worker. We are going to see an attack coming in on the top side. This is going to catch Spirit out of position a little bit, and this is going to be Strange taking a great spot on this base. Oh, he cannot afford to lose this command center. There he goes. He's pulling the trigger, lifts the CC to try and get in here. Archon stuck in the back. There's no force fields available, only the one Colossus, and a great set of splits here coming in from Spirit. Strange is running out of units, but he is going to blink to the side. There's no real production for him. He's on 4 gates right now, but there might not be enough actually to break this. This one Colossus is still the MVP of this fight, and actually Spirit's going to run out of units and run out of HP. What is happening?
Yo, Strange just played. He peeled for himself. That Colossus stepping back, baiting through, and he's like, "Oh yeah, there's just a couple zealots. They're 3/3 charge lots. The upgrades, the upgrades, the upgrades, the upgrades." I'm gonna say it 700,000 times. Somehow, Strange in a fight that I really thought should have just done it in for him. He pulls it out again. Except here's the problem: Terran units are dirt cheap. So a couple zealots he can warp in at a time, sure, with his low measly probe count. But Spirit still has the mobility. He can still get around the map. And guess what? At some point, even if he were to be able to break into that northwest spot, he's just going to lift everything and fly it again. And we get to do this whole in caboodle one more time.
So we're now on our second reset of the game here, where both players are once again knocked back down to 1.
Let me out!
Let the game end. One of you kill each other.
This is beautiful, though. It really does demonstrate how close of a match this is when one player can't secretly build 6 carriers and then just kill you. So, carriers aside, these two are a great match for each other, and this has been a really fun. This has been a really fun match.
Oh, he's checking the main base for the Widow Mine.
Oh,
he still
so
doesn't
close.
find it. And it just waddles down the ramp like nothing even happened.
I feel like I'm Matthew McConaughey inside the wall, hitting it. Just don't go. Sorry, I have like a quota. I have to get at least one movie reference in every 15 minutes, and we're about to hit 30. So.
No, it's a good one. It was due. And once again, we are going to see a base trade. This time, that's a decent Widowmine shot right there. 6 kills. This will force out a recall. Can he get the medevacs? He needs to at the very least. Spirit is really starting to pull away in the supplies. The Zealots are going to run down a lot of this army. Is that enough for Strange to still be okay here? I think it just might be, partially because that top left base is going to be mining out pretty soon. Ooh, big blink forward. Nice last second split right there from Strange. And his top left base is like, it's starting to mine out.
Sorry. I was checking my heart rate over here, making sure I'm okay. He's chasing him even further. So Spirit has... I was going to mention something about mining out this base, but then I remembered Terran can just fly the command center and then bring all the workers. So Strange, he's not trying to build probes. Like he still wants to be funneling out those last few units to end it, but has still not really been able to. And there's no cybernetics core, so he can't build stalkers.
Oh my God, I didn't even realize there's no cybernetics core.
Yeah, so he can only build Zealots, which naturally will make it hard for him to kill Spirit. But Spirit can't really fight against the upgraded units in the open field, so he also can't kill him.
I'm just gonna say it. Yeah. If that Colossus, that second Colossus, if it had survived, I think the game would have ended by now. I think Strange would have taken too many fights that are too good, and he probably would have won this game by now. We have this one hero Colossus that is absolutely the anchor, the quarterback, the commander of this army. I still can't believe that we are still in this game 30 minutes in. What an absolute slugfest.
Yeah. I see chat is eating this one up too. Someone's like, it's the best of 3 within the best of 3. You know, we've created a wrapper inside of the game. Okay, Colossus is gonna get buried away on the prism. That control, very dangerous to do with such a low health prism. The Zealots are gonna charge in. Now the ghosts do help with cleaning those up, and Strange is gonna have to take a step back. Okay, that might have been him biting off a little bit more than he can chew. One thing that Spirit has done is tried to get more money. He does only have a single SCV now, but Strange has 23 supply versus 46. So the entire game has to just be on this Colossus.
He needs to
Prism Micro. And there it is. Pack him up, stick a fork in it. This game is done. GG. Spirit ties it up. Woo!
You know what is funny?
Break too. Woo!
I was just gonna say, with how it is, there is potential that War Prism could micro almost infinitely against the units. No.
Shut it down.
It's over.
Woo! Okay. I can't believe we have one more game of this. I'm exhausted.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting position because Dark really has no incentive to push across the map from this spot. He has 2 mining bases. His bank is almost non-existent, so if he loses a fight, he cannot remax. This is all he's got for a long time.
So I think they're both almost down to 1 base. See the base in the upper left shot, that's pretty resource. This is what I was talking about.
Man.
So if you come in here, there's not a lot of workers for Terran, by the way. There's 21 SCVs. This base is going to evaporate pretty fast. Now Terran can try to do some kind of base trade-ish stuff, but again, it's Thor's, you know, trudging across the map.
Yeah, and Dark's going to move back over here to this position. Those ghosts very far forward.
Now, he may have forced him to commit. This may have been part of Dark's plan all along.
The Broodlords come in, they fire 1 volley and then retreat back. One Thor goes down during all that. 21 Broodlords now.
He's going for it.
All
Banes are
right.
gonna come in. Let's do this.
All the Banelings coming into the front line.
They're actually getting stuck because he's just mind controlled every single Thor. He's got to manually kill them here.
Dark just waiting to take the engagement. He doesn't A move with the Banelings because he wants to get the maximum hits, and he completely wipes Cure's army. 18 Broodlords still standing.
Ghosts on the move though, en masse.
Cure is going to spend all of his gas on 3 more Thors, 2 more Ghosts, 2 more Liberators. Besides that, he has only minerals right now.
And Zerg's just gone for Zerglings, which could be Banelings, of course, but not a lot of gas in this picture. There are Infestors. Infestor Ghost thing is kind of
It's tricky.
Whoever catches who first.
But is there an answer to the Liberators here for Dark? If there isn't, then
well, that's a good point. I
is
hadn't
Cure
really thought
able
of
to
that.
zone?
Well, can he just like make a few Corruptors here? He doesn't have that much left.
Well, the Corruptors would get sniped. It's such a tricky problem. Cure coming in again, doesn't want to lose any of these Ghosts. Every unit is precious in this situation.
Keep in mind, you know, the splash damage from the tanks isn't helpful for the
No.
Terran right now with Broodlords. I don't know. I'm not saying that he should have made tanks. I really don't know
Oh my God.
where to take this game, but I'm just saying, like, you know, siege tanks are not always your friend in moments like this.
I think for a moment there, Dark was attacking his own Broodlings with his Broodlords to get more Broodlings.
I think you're
into
right.
the
Yeah.
fight.
I think he was trying to chain it.
Just insane.
Now, the most important location where the Zerg's mining from, it remains untouched.
Only 4 Thors out here for Cure.
Now, again, these siege tanks, do you want to be in siege mode? I'm not so sure. The Ghosts are going to come forward. The Fungals come down.
Big Fungals coming
these
in.
Broodlings are going to come in here. The siege tank shots are going to connect onto some of the Ghosts. There are still 8 Ghosts in this game, now 7-6.
Only 9 Broodlords left, though. I mean, these are about as even trades you can get. 4 Ghosts, 6 Liberators, and 3 Thors standing here for Cure as the supply's almost dead even. Dark's going to do a counterattack with a handful of Banelings and Lings in one of the most scrappy late-game ZVTs I have ever seen. And Baneling Landmine right here. Baneling Landmine, Cure does avoid it.
Yeah, he does come in there and just take out a few SCVs, draw them away. The incomes have slowed down to a crawl.
It's a lot of
Okay,
liberation
nice Fungals.
zones. Those Fungals are a lot of damage on the mech units. SCVs being pulled to repair.
Again, siege tanks not always, you know, what you want in moments like this.
No, and these Fungals are being very effective. It's kind of odd to say this, but the Fungals are really Dark's most effective anti-air right now.
You know, it's funny because Fungal, you know, it doesn't last that long and doesn't do that much damage. But the thing is like, this is a game where like every little interaction kind of adds up. And so one of these is going to die. I mean, there you go.
And Dark also knows that he can tank one shot from the siege tanks with these Infestors before retreating back. And these Liberators now very low on HP. And look at the mineral fields on the mini-map. Cure is very quickly running out. Soon he won't be able to repair his army anymore.
Oh, that's a good point, yeah.
And
You
Zerg
can't-
has Transfuse and the natural regeneration. So I think in the ultimate late game scenario, unless Cure can somehow find an answer or get some snipes off.
He's going to get the pool. Again, everything has to be remade. He could even get the Baneling's Nest as Zerg is sort of full-on pulled back to the only real location of value. Again, spawning pools can be remade here. There's another Infestor just right here. He might try to get the Ghost and EMP. The Broodlords are going to inch forward here and try to catch the sword. There
Exactly. Double EMP.
Oh,
and then he
and
snipes a Ghost on the left side.
Yeah, pushes the Ghost into the range of the Broodlings.
Ghost count down to 4 now.
Now, the army supplies here are pretty even. It's 124 to 138.
Such
Zerg
huge armies.
still mines minerals. I do think you might be right about he can't make a Spire.
I don't think he can. I don't even think he has a lair. I think he would need to build a lair and then the Spire and then the Corruptor, which is too much. And yeah, Cure floating these buildings. I do think that Dark's best case scenario here is a draw. And I think that might be where we're heading. Because I'm looking at Cure's army. I don't see any way that he can fight into the Zerg where the Zerg like can't just disengage and transfuse everything, right?
And
How does Cure kill him? I see
100%,
no world.
100% you can float your buildings all to the bottom right
Yeah.
if you're Terran. So every spine that goes down, it's one less building for the Zerg. It's also
It's a big
possible Cure
fungal.
can win this, by the way.
Some nice Fungals from Dark. It's a lot of AoE. He actually is going to be killing some units with these.
Okay, so this actually could be a big mistake here. But again, I mean, you know, this could be the reality that this whole army just disappears, and then they both kind of sit there until a ref comes over.
Yeah, there's also a situation, looking at this, is another Ghost gets CMP'd.
There's not like a corruptor hiding in the far top left.
No, there's
right?
no, look at the units tab, there's nothing.
Oh, right, of
there's
course.
Nothing.
I'm like racking my brain here trying to imagine every possible outcome.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to reconcile like the reality of what we're seeing and this being a draw.
But here's the thing, we see it, Here doesn't.
Exactly.
So Here could be in a position where he thinks, no, of course he has a corruptor.
Or of course the game is lost. Like when you're playing it in the moment like this, it might just be completely out of your headspace where it's like, wait, I actually can force a draw.
Yeah.
The more that I'm looking at this, I'm wondering whether a referee is just going to go on stage and be like, okay, guys, we're going to have a regame of Game 2. But there is the...
Oh, hold on. He's starting to chuck stuff in here.
Oh, the Broodlords. I guess there is a world where Dark loses all of his Broodlords and loses the game. 7 Broodlords. I think that might have been 8 at some point. Now down to 6. 5? Is Kerr doing this?
Well,
Only one Ghost left.
Keep
6
in mind,
Thors.
after the Broodlords get low enough in numbers, you really can't do anything with the Broodlings. I think there's 4 left?
5, I think. 5 Broodlords in total.
Okay.
No Ghosts. Snipe is completely off the table. It is only Thors, and they cannot be repaired. So I feel like he's going to continuously try and get something done, get some damage in with these Infestors, and then once he gets a small number, maybe 7, maybe 8, maybe 9, he'll just be okay. I'm content with this.
Just like fungal this?
Fungal might be better. I mean, it's certainly better than what that was.
Well, I guess the problem is I was thinking fungal the SCVs, but it's like I guess the medevac could heal that. You know, it's.
How many times have you seen a Hellbat get assimilated?
I've seen it all now. Is this an overextension? Fungal's going down!
It's a lot of bio getting fungled. Hellbats as well. Hellbats can
Here we go,
heal.
here we go. The Broodlings are starting to gnaw through this. A couple more chain fungals. And I think, you know, now the question is Curious, you're
No!
You are kidding me.
Nothing can kill
Crazy
a lifted building!
But at the same time, the worst episode of Game of Thrones I've ever seen. All he had to do was land or float a building over the vacant area. But you know what, Dark, it's kind of crazy.
I'm not wrong about this, right? There's nothing that could hit, like the Queen doesn't have enough range to kill a CC in the
my
corner,
phone's
right?
charging, but can you see if somebody's tweeted at us like we don't get? I think he could have just floated a building there.
I think so too. I feel like the worst case scenario for Kir was a draw.
I've devoted my whole life to this game, and like but I'm almost second guessing myself because Kir didn't do it. But no, there's no way.